Hello, good evening, and welcome to this wonderful session we are having today. And I would like to even say, wish you all a very happy new year because we are meeting for the first time in January for our first monthly event of 2024 for G100 Oneness and Wisdom, a global chair. So we are here to discuss about something which is very relevant, very important, and very dear to all of us as parents, as educators. We all want to give our children a foundation which is rock solid, and we want them to soar high into their future. But how do we do it? That is the question. How do we give that rock solid foundation? How do we give them the firm roots, the deep secure roots? So we are here to discuss all about that. I'm being an educator, educator for not just primary and the middle school children, but also to the early childhood phase. I have seen children who are transitioning from the young innocent minds into confident adults. And how does this transition occur? Is this smooth? Do you all think that it's a very smooth and very easy journey? No, isn't it? They all have their own challenges while they are transitioning from their the young days to the adulthood. So, how do we as parents and educators help them in this transformation? By giving them a proper, secure, solid foundation in terms of formal education, in terms of ethics and morals, in terms of life skills, which are very important nowadays, in addition to the what we are learning through in school or colleges. So that's what we are going to discuss about today. And we know that it's equally important to have firm roots and strong wings for children to soar into their future, to give them a positive and sustainable change in in their lives. And as a global head has already said, giving uh, giving them a we are on a journey to change the education system. Yes, that's what our global head for G100 Oneness and Wisdom has told us before we started this whole topic about giving roots and wings to children. So, welcome again to all of you on this beautiful discussion about our children. And I would like our country head, our country chair, Anu Narimpalli, to take this forward. And before that, we have here amongst us, I would like to just introduce all of you here. We have with us our global chair for G100 Oneness and Wisdom, Jennifer Randive, our beautiful Anu Narimpalli, India country chair, Srividya Mohan for Mindful Movements, Mumbai City Chair, and myself, Sudha Kumar, the West Zone Region Chair for India. Thank you so much. Welcome again. Anu, I would like you to just take it forward with your set of questions for all of us and just see what's coming from you.
Hello, hello, hello. It's always such a true blessing and joy and honor to be here with all of you. Thank you so much, Sudha, for this amazing topic, giving roots and wings. I love that. I love the title. Thank you so much. So, as you said, I'm the country chair and I'm an artist and creative entrepreneur as a profession. Yeah, so basically, this is our panel here. We've got educators, entrepreneurs, and experts in the field, and there's more coming in. So we want to welcome everyone and to join us. Please comment. We want questions and we want comments. You guys suck. What is going on? We want some entertainment. We want all that comments in there. So please tell us what you want to hear from us. So yeah, as far as my job is concerned, it's very simple, thank God. uh, Sudha gave me some wonderful questions, and I'm going to just throw it open to the panel. There's more coming in, so I'm hoping that they will join too. So should I start with the first question?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, you're waiting.
so here it is. Is formal education enough, or is it to be supported with additional learning tools? So that's the first question. And again, we want to throw it open to the viewers also. Please, whoever's watching and listening, um, please comment. Please tell us. What do you want us to talk about? But here's the question for the panel right now. Who wants to start? Who wants to jump in? We are all muted, by the way.
Okay. So when it comes to formal education, as being an educator, as I already told you, I start with a very young age of 3.5 years, and it's just I just love being with them because they're so cheerful, so innocent. They don't have that pressure of exams, getting the marks, all that. Which the moment you are stepping into that middle school zone, you all have that pressure, right? So this particular phase is a phase which is very beautiful, where we can act and all where we can start with something very joyous for them to enjoy their education, not realizing that they are actually doing something with the books. We want them to understand everything, and we want them to explore and experience. And I feel uh, whatever we are learning in the school, it is important, but in addition to that, we need a lot more tools for the children, for them to face the challenges in life. Just learning about maths, just learning about science, is it going to make them like all of us are going to colleges, doing post graduations, MBAs, all this. But actually, when it comes to life's challenges, these are not going to help us. The textbook knowledge is not going to help us. We want those skill sets which will make us ready for our life, right?
I'm
So
going to pull this a little more because I do know what Sudha does. She's got an amazing institute. It's called the Learning Spot, and I want you to, Sudha. I'm going to make you stretch a bit with this question. I want you to give an example of how you do this. Like you've got some really cool games. Okay, I feel whenever I see what you're doing, I feel like I want to be that 5-year-old. Okay, and I want to learn because you have all these toys or things like this. So just give a small example of how we can anybody can do this. While teaching. How teachers can do that. Just give a
yeah.
small example.
Yes, yes. So, see, when we are learning about anything, everything has a practical experience. You need to have a practical experience for whatever you're learning, whether it is languages, whether it is science, maths, social studies, anything. So, whatever I am teaching, I always try to make it more lively for them to think about how they're going to experience that in their life. Okay, so then it gives them the meaning to learn something, right? So it's like okay, I'll give you a very small and very fun example. We all do algebra, right? When we say algebra, we think, oh my god, it's something maths, I'm bringing maths into the topic. But algebra can be taught to a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old also. When we say that, we think, oh my god, how can we do this? See, give them a small example. If you have a if you want to color a flower, you don't have a red color, but you're using, instead of the red color, you are using a pink color. You are using, instead of, in place of that, you are using. Or what I give them is simple roll numbers. We all had roll numbers in our school, right? We roll number 1, roll number 2, roll number 3. So I tell them, your school, in school, teacher will either call you with the roll number or call by name. Suppose there is a child, Tara. So I ask Tara, suppose teacher calls you by your roll number 20, are you not going to stand up? Yes, of course, she's going to stand up and raise her hand. Yes, miss, I'm present, like this. So that is your number. Your roll number is substituting your name. How X gets substituted by 1 or Y gets substituted by 2? Oh, you are learning algebra over there.
That's
And this, if you
that's
take it
why.
forward, yes, this you take it forward, there are a lot of implications in life.
Excellent. I love it. Thank you. Srividya, do you want to say something?
Yeah. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm glad to be a part of G100 and again this first event on 2024. Okay, the answer to your question as to, formal education along with additional tools. Okay. The first, in one line, I would first give my answer. It is like giving both intelligence and wisdom to a child. Formal education gives intelligence,
Yes.
whereas the additional tools, that is emotional quotient, social skills, communication skills, life skills, okay, that gives the wisdom to use the intelligence. So both are equally important. And it is possible, like, along with formal education, in school, teachers can do that. At home, parents can also do that. Just to give a very small example, like, so that it is easier for us to integrate that. Supposing in school, as a teacher, okay, one small game which can be included along with the subject, like, whether it can be included both, either for an English, mainly for an English class also, is a very innovative game which is called the dictionary. Okay, the aim of the game is the child, all the children in one class should become one. For any teacher, managing one classroom is easier than managing 40 children or 50 children or 30 children. First aim of the teacher is to make the class into one. So you're dealing with one. And for that, what is needed? Children should know each other. The basic is that they should know each other. There should be a rapport. Otherwise, they sit next to one another, they have a friend. It goes like that. So now in this game, what happens? We can just, normally, like, all the kids are given sheets of paper and they have to write their names in capital letters. Okay. And everybody keeps it on the floor. And then the teacher can make them into groups and tell them, now you arrange it. All the A names would come first, then B. So that is how the words are put in a dictionary. Okay, so here learning is also happening. Okay, how do you look at words in dictionary? How do you learn it? And at the same time, the children are also learning about each other, the names first. Okay, and they also learn to behave in a group. So you start arranging it. Okay, then depending upon the age group, we tell them now you can have one book wherein you have an index of all the students in this class in the same order, alphabetical order. So they learn the names, then it comes alphabetical order. The teacher can keep on improvising with just one game, like, 10 minutes. You have socializing. Okay, all these students whose names start with A come form a group. And we can even include quiz, like, okay, you're having how many students are there with A, how many students are there with B. So many improvisations can be done with one game. Then take them to the next step, like, okay, all the A students, do you know what are their hobbies? What is their favorite color? So what happens? The class comes together as one. So this is the additional skills a teacher can incorporate. Okay, so bringing them together, teaching them social skills in a very fun way, game format. There are so many games we can inculcate, and so many small things also. So
And
yes, so the answer is both are equally important.
that's amazing. What you just said it in two words and elaborated into such a beautiful story. What do you do? Please elaborate. I'm not very familiar, but say something about what is it that you do.
Yeah, I'm a parent wellness coach, and I take sessions for parents wherein I introduce them to the core parenting concepts, because parents should know the concepts like neuroplasticity, role of sensory organs, emotional and logical brain. That would help the parents to make their own choices. We can get n number of parenting tips from anywhere. Like now, the social media is buzzed with, like, we can get all the tips, but every tip will not work. Like, every house, every family, every child, every parent is different. How do you implement those parenting tips? Simple, like once a parent knows about neuroplasticity as to how the brain works, the learning process, they will not see the behavior of the child as a good behavior or bad behavior. They will start looking at it as patterns. Here I see a repeated pattern which is productive or not productive.
Okay,
Then
that's
how do I
wonderful.
break the pattern?
That's wonderful.
How do I
We've
break
got
the
some amazing experts here, and please start with that fun game first, and then what we want to do is we want to know who your
Yeah.
expert level, because then what happens is so that's why, so you see where it's going. Okay, Next in line is next in line. Okay, is Jennifer. Do you want to say something about? And let me just repeat the question for Paula's sake. Hi, Paula Alphonse.
Mhm.
She's our Canada country chair. Thank you so much. I know you've been very busy. Yesterday one, today one. Oh my God, you got programs going all throughout, and it's still New Year. Okay, slow down. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, so we'll go with Jennifer and then come to Paula. I'll come with the question. The question is formal education enough, or is it to be supported with additional learning? And that, I think, is our interest more.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Jennifer.
It's interesting. I love what has been shared by Sudha and by Shividya. Um, my opinion is that um, education for me has to be fun and playful. So I think what you ladies are doing is truly remarkable. And it's for me the way I have brought up. I had to bring up a child in a totally different way because my daughter was with special needs, right? So it was more about getting to know her as opposed to trying to tell her what to do. Okay, so
Mhm.
it was more about finding different methods to actually teach her because at the time that she was born, she's now 37. There were no specialized ways of actually communicating with children, so I had to create games. So it had to be more fun and rewarding
Mhm.
because it was more rewarding that used to make her, okay, I'm going to do this, okay, I'm going to do that. So I had made these small little games for her, which was like a posting box, for example. So I had taken the Ladybird books. I had one book, and the other book, which was similar, I had made them like little, things that you can slot into a post box. So she
Mhm.
would learn that way. So I had to reiterate the alphabet and then the word, and she would see the picture, and then I say, okay, where is it? And then she would just slot it into the post office box that I created. So there are many things, and I think children tend to learn more
Mhm.
when you actually have all these supporting things going on that gets them involved and enthused. That's my take.
That's wonderful, Jennifer. You're amazing. That's super. That's amazing. You just invented a teaching tool right there at home. All right, we have next Paula. Please.
What I would say for me, it's really about being intentional. Being intentional in terms of how you interact with the children. I love the idea of playing it into a game, but also as a parent, knowing where it is you want to land. To them, it's a game. To you, is where do I want to take them? And as you do that, it's this part where I have to maybe take a few step back and not look at it from an adult perspective, but go back and understand the child, as Jennifer has mentioned, to understand what triggers their interests. And when you find that, then it's a lot easier to make it happen because as children, they have not yet been, how could I say, streamlined in proper behavior when you're either in school, where you're either in society and things like that. So this is where you get to the crux of who they are. And as you're doing that, you're being intentional and you're playing it into a game. Then what happens is that the child associate this activity, even if it's not a game, but it associate it as uh, a joint enjoyment. So I know with my kids, we started with small little things, a bit like Jennifer, the letters and things like that. My children learn how to count as well as their colors using dominoes that were different colors and there were different numbers. So as they're doing this, they're not registering that, oh, I am learning something. It's so boring in class. I have to recite 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like, yeah, we're not doing any of that. And as they're playing and winning and getting the sense that, oh, they haven't even registered, I learned something. So, as parents, this is where I say it's important to be intentional, often in the busyness of life. So you send them to play while you're cooking dinner. You send them to do XYZ while you're doing something else, but you don't have the opportunity to see whether they actually capturing the learning. So this is the portion where, and I guess maybe also because I'm into education, this is the portion where you want to ensure that they also learning the right things, not just, okay, there's too much competition in this game, so I don't play with this, so I don't learn numbers, I don't want to do this because it's difficult. Because by the time they went into school, it was like, I already know some things, but I'm still ready to learn more. So that's part to me of ensuring that we're opening their minds to the possibilities.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Paula. God, you guys are. I feel like being a child again, all over again, so I can learn from each one of you,
Yeah,
and
I would like to
actually
share.
like learning, actually like going to school, and actually like math and algebra, and so many languages, and that's wonderful. So this is what it's all about. I think we all went through that pain, right? I mean, haven't we all gone through that pain? And so that's why we are all right on this stage right now saying, how do we make this better for our children, right? And so that's
I would
wonderful.
like to
Okay.
just add one thing which I remembered something which happened in the class today. So we were trying to, this is for the younger children of 6 7 year olds who are trying to memorize the 6 times table. So
Mhm.
for the 4 times table, I made them, I gave them in the rhyming form. So for the 6 times table, they themselves they came up with the idea that they will do the twinkle twinkle little star, uh, the rhyme for the 6 times table, and they on their own they created the rhyme. They created the table also. They did that, and they were all very happy. So this shows that one thing is learning something. Second is what life lessons are we learning from this? That
Mhm.
whatever is hard, whenever you are facing something which is hard to tackle, you are trying to find out a better way of doing it, right? So I feel whatever we are learning in the school or whatever you are doing in the classes, there is always a life learning for over there, which children are going to take it up and then do it later in their life. That's how I feel when we are teaching the kids.
What I would
That
also add
that
to that, and that's what I picked up from the example, and I forgot to also mention, the twinkle twinkle little star was already a positive reinforcement. So when you tag it to something else that is that becomes a task, but that is enjoyable, it becomes a bigger, a stronger positive reinforcement. So it's those elements, as we're paying attention, we leave room for the child to experiment with whatever it is that we're presenting, but we always want to give them that sense that they can own and play with it, and not that it is a chore that they have to make. Because this is where eventually, as you're doing this, they start associating difficulty with learning. And that's not what we want to do with our kids. Okay.
Right, so true, very true. Okay, so I'm going through the questions that Sudha has given me. Thanks, you've done you've made life so easy for me. But I'm going to since we are talking about this and already actually there's a lot of questions already answered here. I want to build on it a little bit more, not just learning and life lessons and how to apply it in life. How about character development and empathy among children? Would what are the successful strategies that help foster character development and empathy among children? So go back into your own learning methods or techniques and pick just those and say that, okay, this, why would you, how is that going to help, and why is it helping
I could start.
in your mind?
I'll start with something I've always done with my kids. And I didn't know that's what I was doing, but that's what ended up happening. You start by giving them small responsibilities. The same way we want them to learn to brush their teeth and clean their room and things like that. To me, this is about developing self accountability, but also that sense of community. So there were some tasks that you start and you're asking them to either do things. Can you bringing the grocery from your dad into the kitchen? Can you pick up the games with your sisters into the living room? It's giving them that role where they see the difference they're making. And sometimes they, of course, they will say, but I didn't make the mess. And this is where you tell them, but sometimes when you're the one who make the mess, everybody cleans up with you. And this is about helping them seeing that bigger picture, helping them understand that I'm a piece of a community. And there's my part of my role is to take care. And when I say take care, not take ownership of others, but play into ensuring everybody in the environment is doing well. And what I found out later on is when my kids entered school and there were some behaviors taking place in the school, they would mention this happened today and blah, blah, blah. And she said, this is what they did. I didn't like that. And I remember thinking in one instance, and I said, and what did you do? And she said they didn't want to play with the girls because they thought she was too slow. So I just left that group and I went and I played with this girl. But the thing is, that little girl had either a broken ankle or a broken leg or whichever. So of course there's things she couldn't do, but that didn't mean that she no longer want to be part of the larger game. So she found something that she could do with that other girl. And what that taught me back then, it's this sense where everything starts at home. If you have that sense of community, if you have that sense of paying attention to others, then it's a lot easier to transfer it at school, because there's no way the teacher with I don't know how many kids in the playground will notice what is happening all the time. But if it's already embedded into the behaviors of your children, it's a lot easier to transfer in other environments.
Please jump in, anyone else who
Okay. So while she was talking about that, Paula, I just remembered one incident which happened with my son. So I think he was in his sixth or seventh, not even sixth, before that only. He was very good in sports, and once he lost a race. I asked him why, what happened? You are so good at sprint and racing and all that. He said that one child fell down and he wanted to help him, and in that process, he lost the race. So I said it doesn't matter once you learn, but you are helping the other child. So if you, even if you lose, it doesn't matter because you are in the you have done a good deed. See, this is something which children learn during their childhood only, which will help them in even in the future. That is what I meant with the character. They see what's going on at home, how we are behaving as parents with our elders at home, and how we are our communication skills with others, how we are behaving at home. This all helps them in their character development in the later life. So everything starts at home, like how Paula mentioned. Whatever small practices we do at home, that help them in their future. So what if we are teaching them in a proper way? It helps them in taking the life's knockbacks in a proper way, like to face the life's challenges very confidently.
yeah,
I feel, yeah,
that's beautiful, because what you can actually tell him is you won, because you just created. You may not have won the race, but
yes,
you just helped the other person, and that is most important. Where you're including. It's not You're not saying that only I should win. It's not such a
Mhm.
competition. Life with you're learning life lessons. That's a
right.
beautiful story. uh, I just want to jump in actually with another story I had. I had these neighbors. But they had four children, all different ages, and the father, he would ask the kids to. This is in America, and they would ask the kids to do chores and earn pocket money. And so and he would say, okay, fine. So they would come, and this is in Idaho, and it was very cold, and we are from India, so we didn't know anything about snow. And they would come, the children, like 10, 11-year-old children would come and say, we'll do the snow for you, we'll do the shoveling for you. And we said, wow, okay. And then we would pay them something. The funny thing would be, they would go home and take whatever amount, $5 or whatever, and give 250 to the dad. So I said, what's going on? So he says, well, in our house, it's our taxation is 50%. So they had 50%. So he said, wow, that's huge, huge 50%. So he says, so the dad has only one thing to say, you know what? Once they grow up and start earning, they will want to pay taxes, because it's only it's much less than 50%. So they know the value of money. First of all, they know the value of why we are paying taxes, and what the taxes do, because it goes into their savings. And then they know the value that once they start earning, they know the value of earning money. And and that's a humongous lesson for a child. And so we were just very impressed. So we felt like paying more to the children. So that is just one small story I had. Anybody else want to jump
Yeah.
in?
Yeah, character development and empathy. My view on this is it's not something which we can teach, it's something which children learn from experience. So we have to give them those experiences. It's about who we are. Both these things children learn from who we are.
Mhm.
So 24/7, the way we behave, how we look at things, that is what they learn. Again, I would like to give very two small examples, which as parenting tips, which I share with parents. In India, it's very very common, like at all the houses, there are housekeeping staff who will come and collect your garbage. Okay. And especially towards the north, or like, generally there is an Indian term for that, like kachada. Okay. So once they ring the bell, it's very very normal to say that yeah, the kachada wali has come. So the first thing I tell parents is that person has a name. So what you need to do first is
Mhm.
you address them by their name. Okay? That is their profession. So these small things is also very important, wherein they learn empathy and also it builds into their character. So they have a name, you ask their name. So even if they ring the bell, you say, okay, this person has come, not the garbage collector has come. Okay, like these kind of things would help a lot. And another, as a strategy, if we see, storytelling is a very effective strategy. And there, how I use it with children is, any story we tell, we just have to pop up that question. Okay, this character, okay, why do you think they did that, especially the negative character also. Okay, there must be a reason why they did it that way. What do you think? What is the reason behind that? So what happens is, empathy is what? Empathy is understanding that other people have opinions or their viewpoints. So storytelling is a very effective way to teach empathy. And again, communication. So as the kids grow up, communication is where we can teach. Like, do I have time to give another example for this? Or
Let's take
yeah,
it around the panel. We've got
yeah.
another person joining in.
So my answer is communication, storytelling, and be who we are throughout the day.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Srividya. So we've got a new. Thank you, Prachi, for joining us. We've got our next panelist. Let me just very quickly. I don't know if you've been following along, Prachi.
Hi Anu, hi everyone. I'm so sorry for getting in late.
That's okay. Just jump in. You want me to give you the question? Are you in? Okay.
Yes,
So
because I just joined
So
in.
Prachi is our Karnataka
Yeah.
state chair for India. And the question is, what are the successful strategies to help foster character development and empathy among children? And when we say children, we can mean any age. So just go ahead. I know you are a university professor, and so go ahead. We're all children, actually.
I think thank you so much, Sudha ma'am, for accommodating me in. And hi, Jennifer, and everyone in the panel. Good evening to everyone. I think we first we should reflect it in our character. That's very
Mhm.
important. Like if I keep preaching, if I keep talking about it, it's of no use unless it does not get reflected in my character. And how rightly she said, like empathy is a very big thing. Definitely empathy is a very big thing, and I think we should tell our children, whoever, like like communicate, whether good, bad, ugly, learn to communicate, because once they communicate they can sort out their emotion. And once their emotions are set out in the right place, or their emotions are set out in the best possible manner, I think they will be able to communicate back to the society, to the people around, whoever is around, like what it is all about, right? Once they know how to communicate, they understand, like in which way. Say example, if they're angry with someone, but if they know the art of communication, and if they have some kind of empathy, they will not like throw their anger on the person. They will understand that what the situation might be. So I think emotional management is one of the biggest tool. um
Give us an example. Give us a small. We're stressing on that actually in this entire event here. So we're saying, just give us like an example. Like, see, I used to have many years of communication problems. Like, meaning I knew I was feeling it, but I couldn't express it because I was too afraid. Usually, communication problems start with that. They're too fearful, or they don't have that much respect for themselves to begin with. So, how would you, let's say somebody like my previous me would come over to you and say, I need help. I know that I have this problem or whatever it is. So, how would you know, dig through that and help them? And just again, we don't have much time. So, very small
yeah.
example,
Anu,
playful.
Anu, see, I would cut short it. Like, see what happens now. Majority of the time when we communicate, we only think of the end result, like how the opposite person is going to take it, what is going to be the end reaction of it. We never focus on the process. Communication is a process. Let's start the process. Why do you keep worrying about the result? See, if you are going somewhere, you can't keep thinking about, okay, I have to reach that place. You need to have a journey to reach to that place. And we forget that we need to enjoy the journey. So majority of the time our focus is only on the end result, and there where communication goes wrong, I believe. Think of the process. No, let's start it. Let's initiate it. So once like if we are able to initiate, so it is basically just start communicating in whatever like scenario you are in, keeping in mind what emotion you are facing right now. Start communicating and let's take it forward. Like, don't think of how it is going to be aage kya hoga. We are not going to worry about that, what is going to be the end result. Let's start it. Let's see how it goes. Not every time you can be the winner. There might be
Right.
a
That's
possibility
wonderful.
sometimes it may go wrong, but at least we will try it.
Right. That's wonderful. And please, let's stick to Hindi. English, sorry.
Can I mention
Yeah, I'm
something?
so sorry that.
Let's stick
Yeah.
English. I think I lost you. Go ahead. Jennifer? Uy,
We're-
Jennifer, are you guys here?
Yes, we're here. We're hearing you,
Are you
Anu.
guys here?
Yes. Okay. We're hearing. We seem to have lost. Anu seems to have lost contact. What am I
Okay,
mentioned
Go
with
ahead.
Anu's
respect to
there. Okay.
the
I'm here.
comment?
Um,
We're all
to
here.
add, yeah,
Go ahead,
okay.
Jennifer.
We were having a question asked by Anu about character. And if there's any, you can't din information to the child. The child will emulate what it is that the child sees in the house and how parents are operating. Okay, so it's very essential for us to actually look at that. Moreover, it's not about telling a child all the time what the child must do based on what you think is the right way of doing it. It's also communicate. What does this child want to? What does the child think about it? Because it's essential that we start building. Our education system has been a lot of trying to push information onto the child instead of asking the child what the child already knows. Because we all have the innate capacity to actually know. So it's very essential to be able to draw out. The word education actually comes from the Italian root, which is Latin root, I beg your pardon, which is ducara, which it means to pull out. Our education system seems to be shoving things in to children, which does not give them a way of actually expressing who they are and what they are supposed to do. And I think the learning mechanisms that we are creating, like Sudha is doing, and what Sri Vidya is doing, along with the amazing parents that she's counseling, is to help them to recognize that children already have intelligence. They're not stupid. I mean, I have situations, and I've had situations where their tantrums been shown, okay? And I've got a grandson now, so I see how he operates. And when he wants something, it is like, I'm going to get it. So, are we going to give everything the child is wanting? No, but we've got to ask questions as to why do you really want it right now? I mean, what's so important about it? Are you going to be happy if with it, or do you not like what it is that we are having for dinner? For example, he likes to have French fries and avocado. Now, if there's no French fries and avocado, what's going to happen? Is he going to be hungry? No. What are we doing with giving them suggestions as to what else they can have? Is to broaden the horizons. Don't shove things into their minds. I know that that has worked in the way that I've operated with children. So that's just my interesting take on it.
I'll mention something else. When my kids got to the teenage years, of course, before they got to teenage, there were temper tantrums, there were difficulty in agreement between sisters, no problem there. And then we would help them figure out, okay, what was the understanding? Was it clear what you wanted to accomplish on both sides and all of those elements? And then I remember there was one situation when one of my girls was really upset, and when she gets upset, she shuts down. She doesn't want to talk. She walks away, if we can call it. If not physically, she walks away mentally. And what I taught her, instead of getting upset and things like that, just go for a walk. Go for a walk around the block and then come back and explain what took place. Take the time to calm down, because the idea is when you go into a communication, when you're emotionally charged, there's this sense that it's going to come out raw, and then you might create more challenges. So the idea is first try and figure out what's irritating you that much. And then after that, try and understand, did I read the situation right or not? So this is the process where, as Jennifer says, if we don't teach kids how to handle their emotions, they're going to become adults that are difficult to be around, or they're going to become people pleasers. We don't want any one of those. We don't want the overly aggressive. We don't want the people pleasers that just let everybody do everything and they just suffer inside. So it's helping them figure out what is happening behind the scene. And as you're figuring this out, then okay, why am I upset? Is it this person, or is it something that triggered something else? So as they're doing that process, what I find, they become better adults. They will know when I can't talk right now. And I remember having with my husband back then this understanding. If any one of us is too angry to have a conversation, let's take a 10 minutes break and go for a walk. You go your way, I go my way. And this is it. It's time out. And we did the same thing with the kids. And that's the portion where you teach them how to handle things so that it comes out more I wouldn't say gracefully, but more from a stance where I want to hear what's happening on the other side as well, rather than I just want to chew out everything that is inside and deal with it.
Yeah.
I want to share
And
one fun incident which happened with children in my classes. So there's a very small child. He's very naughty. The very cute baby. He's very naughty, intelligent though. So mother always has a problem. She whenever he comes to the class, she'll always bribe him. Okay, if you are learning properly today, if you are doing it steadily, I will take you here. I will take you there. Or once there was some picnic happening in the school field trip, and she said, if you are not doing properly, I will ask the teacher and I will not send you for the field trip. So the father left, and I told him that he was doing some mischief. So I told him, see what your mom said. She's not going to send you for the field trip if you're not paying attention. He said, like Jennifer said, the children know everything. They are very intelligent. He said, see, my mom has already paid the full fees along with the field trips fees for the school. I know that I'm going to go. It's not that I should pay extra now for that one. So it's it's so funny. Yes, children know everything. They're observing
Exactly.
everything, what's happening all around, what we are talking as parents at home or outside also. So we can't think that okay, we know we can control them or we can give them drive or control them not to do mischief. So we have to handle them differently.
oh, very true. I mean, they are very smart. They know,
Absolutely.
they see you, they
They're
see
not,
right through
they're
you.
not
Okay.
naive.
I was very
They're
amazed at
not
look at the way he
naive
answered immediately.
Right.
intelligence. They're not naive by any standpoint.
Mhm.
They're
Right.
very
Yes,
intelligent, very
They're
sharp,
very
and they
intelligent.
right.
can wrap you around your little finger. So we got
Yeah.
to learn how to
Yeah.
use them.
Yeah.
Here,
Yes.
I would like to share a very small example, which became a life lesson for me. Okay, for a 5-year-old actually. So I used to conduct cognitive art classes. So cognitive art is wherein I integrate like a bit of cognition into that. So this parent was sending me, and the elder brother is there are two brothers. Elder brother is coming for the class, and the mother said the younger brother wants to tag along. You don't have to teach him; he can just sit there. Okay, if he draws, whatever. So he was coming for the class. For me, the thing was, if one child doesn't do anything, others would follow suit. It will be a discouragement for the other people. So I gave him paper, I gave him color pencils, everything, and he was not drawing. I never forced him. Then, 3 to 4 times, I just said, okay, just gave him, maybe you can draw this, maybe you can draw that. And then finally, I just asked him, okay, tell me why you don't want to draw. Not even a second he took to give me an answer. He just said, I like blank paper. This was the reply from a 4-year-old. And that was a life lesson for me. He did not give any excuse or nothing. He was very clear about what he wants. So children do have intelligence. Okay, children, they are instinctively intelligent. So we just need to facilitate learning process for them. So, as you were giving examples, I thought I must share because I always feel like, this is a big life lesson. So the answer which the child gave.
Brilliant.
Love it.
Excellent.
Wow.
Really good.
4 years. So he knows exactly what he wants. That's what we need to learn, no? We need to learn to let go, don't we?
And no blame game, right? He was very confident. He just said, I like blank paper. Now, what do we say next? The solution is there. Now, don't ask me to draw again. So that's
Yeah.
it. So very clear, no offense. So children know to communicate as well.
So our biggest lesson
Yeah,
here,
absolutely
How
right.
we get to talk.
It's
here
interesting.
is
Srivijaya,
teach
it is
them the
interesting what you
skills.
said.
Teach them the skills and let go.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Right?
Mhm.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jennifer. You were saying something?
No, it is so interesting what Srividya just said. It's not about, it was about asking the child what the child wanted to do.
Yeah.
It was not forcing the child to do what we thought as the elders or the teachers or the educators for him to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
To share with us.
in the end, we are only
Really
giving them
nice.
the life lessons, skills, I should say, not less skills.
Exactly.
How
Yeah.
they use those skills is up to them, right? And so
When we
now,
know the right point, Nano, like communication for character building and empathy also, communication plays a key role. Like supposing a child does a mistake, okay. In my case also, the child repeatedly does not do the homework. There is no point asking the child why you didn't do the homework. I told you this. I ask one simple question: how can you complete your homework in your next class?
hmm,
I shift his focus for completion. Okay,
hmm,
what can you do to make sure that you do the homework next class? Or simple manner is how
yeah,
will you do it right the next time? Because that is what we want to teach the child. Okay, how do you do it right?
yeah,
Not try to focus on why you did it wrong. So the focus
hmm,
shift helps a lot in character development, because what happens that there is a cognition shift when the child has to answer. It is thinking about, okay, how can I do it the right next time? When we ask them why did you do it wrong, they are giving all the excuses as to why I did it wrong. So shifting the focus helps a lot in character development, and
Yeah, I
communication plays a very important role.
I just wanted to share something also. We've got little time left, but it was a incident that happened with me, and it was me trying very hard to make sure that everything that was required to be done as far as the test preparation was done perfectly. All right. So then I had prepared all these, question and answer papers for Sasha to actually to do it. And it took me coming back from work from 7 o'clock in the evening to 9 o'clock to try and make her do the stuff. And she had the pencil in her hand close to the paper and did not write a word. And I was going ballistic. Why is she not doing it? And finding fault and trying to tell her, come on, Sasha, you got to do this, you got to do this, but to no avail. And then I thought to myself, oh my God, what is it that I'm doing? So I had to take a different approach. And the approach was this: let's go and take a break. Let's go and have a couple of burgers. What do you think? Before I could say Jack Robin, she was outside the door, waiting to actually go and have a break. But the funny thing is that when we came back, I said, Sash, we're going to play a game. And the game was, I'm going to be Peter and you're going to be Jane. Okay? The questions were around Peter and Jane of the Ladybird book. And within 15 minutes, everything was completed because we made it a game. So what you're doing, Sudha, is absolutely remarkable when you make all your learning and teaching into a game. And Srividya, you've actually shared some amazing stuff. So it's about lightening up the situation, not making education so serious. In fact, all of us should learn not to get so serious and lighten up. Bringing back the fun in the functionality is very essential. That was my
Yes.
two pies bit. Anu, take it away.
well, we're come almost to the end of the our joyful and playful event, and I hope our audiences also had fun with us. And yes, we all agree. Let's make learning fun and joyful and playful, and let's play with them. You know, so they'll want to, like I think some of you said, learn all of these life lessons without even realizing that they're doing that, right? And I think you guys said it also. You're the teachers and the professors and the instructors and entrepreneurs and the educators, and you're learning from the children by
Exactly.
the children teaching you too, right? So
Yes,
let's all do that together. Let's all learn together.
that's
And
true. When you are around children, you are learning a lot. Every day is a learning process. It's not that what you are teaching, actually you are learning, because you learn the how to mend the ways. You learn how to make it more interesting. So that becomes a learning process for all of us.
Very
you're
true.
learning how
Very
to
true.
teach them, right? I mean, there was a beautiful story. Actually, I won't get into it, but it's not, you're a teacher, you're not teaching them lessons, you're teaching them how to learn. How, or you're teaching yourself how to be a better teacher, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, go ahead, and then we'll take. And after that, Jennifer, jump in and please
Okay.
take take it on. Paula has something to say.
What I want to say, as an educator, as a parent, we want to be intentional in not transferring those patterns and behaviors that you do not want to see repeated. And in that, this is the portion that there are things that as children or we have noted in our own families. And if we know it's not working for us, do not transfer it into the next generation. And sometimes without challenging what has not worked for you in the past, you end up transferring it into the future. Because I remember this situation where, as a parent, you didn't do something, the child didn't do something that you wanted, and you go right into punishment, but you don't even ask what happened. So in that conversation, if you remember doing being done, this being done to you, ensure that you do not transfer that into your kids. The same way we know some parents have favorites. Be mindful about that. You have to ensure that you give proper attention and time to all of the children, not some of the children. There'll be things where they're stronger at, and maybe they can help contribute that skill set with their siblings as part of growing everyone. So it's always to me this thing about being intentional and helping the children see for themselves what are their skill set and gifts, even talents that they can contribute to a larger world.
Yeah.
Cool.
Jennifer, now in conclusion, would you like to say something about our beautiful family here from all over the
Like,
world?
I think one of the things that I'd like to bring up is that it is really amazing to see that we've got such awesome ladies contributing to this conversation. I think we need to have some more people joining us and some more comments that are going to be coming in. But hats off to the amazing contributions of G100, Oneness and Wisdom, India, who has now expanded its reach into us all being involved. So thank you very much, Anu, and thank you, ladies. And I think this is the way that we can learn and grow from one another because each country is diverse
Mhm.
and has different cultures. And to be able to come together to learn one another's cultures, like Srividya mentioned so many things about the garbage collector. So are we calling them the garbage collector, or could we find out what the person's name is? Okay, you're not known by your designation, you're known by
Mhm.
the difference that you make, and that difference maker has a name. Okay,
Mhm.
we've also learned such amazing stuff from Sudha there, who says, let us actually be creative, and she doesn't only say it, she actually implements it. Being creative in our learning experiences, being creative with coming up with different ideas and suggestions for children to actually really become and experience the brilliance that they can be starting from a young age. We also had um, amazing Paula, who gives live examples, I think, like me, because we both have got the gray hair now and we've got the children who have grown up, and now we're coming to the grandmother stages. But it's interesting to see how all our experiences, when they come together, they can create far greater for the younger generation coming on board. And the things that I have learned is you've got to actually look at education not as teachers, but actually look at us as being facilitators of learning.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that would be the most amazing thing. We've got to change, creating new pathways. That's what we're here to do. Let's look at facilitating learning. Okay. In which case, I'm going to be learning from the kids as much as they're going to be learning from me. Okay. So it's going to be facilitating learning. I love what you're doing, Srividya, in educating parents as to how to approach their children. Such an amazing thing. And we've got so many people out there who actually can learn from these things. which is awesome to actually look at. Now, asking questions for me is the way that I operate. I'm also called the question queen. I ask questions of everybody, but it's more about encouraging ourselves to be open to listening to what the kids have to say. Being elders does not mean that we have all the answers. It never is. What can I learn? I mean, I have learned what I do today is because Sasha, because I've asked her questions and learned from her. And what it is I do today is what it is that I implement. So how many more questions can we ask to be able to draw out what the kid already knows, right? And then the creative learning, being innovative. And when we're the oldies and we didn't have all these amazing puzzles and all that we have now, it was how can you innovate and create in the moment. So it is really cool to see that. And I would really invite us to have more of these conversations. Being a global chair today makes me feel so amazing to have people like you. So thank you very much. And what an amazing opportunity Dr. Harbina Arora Rai gives us to be able
Yes.
to share this knowledge and wisdom, coming together as one and sharing the wisdom with everybody. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be present. And Prachi, my apologies for not mentioning you. You come from a different realm of education, and probably you could be educating the mid tier and the college tier that really requires to get out of their own way. So maybe you and me can have a chat. So thank you everyone for taking the time, and hats off to G100 Oneness and Wisdom,
Yeah.
India and global. Take it on. God bless.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, everyone.
So
We
much.
are
Thank
missing
you
one
for joining.
person,
Yeah,
but it's
thank you so
okay.
much.
Thank you
Never.
so much, Sudha, for moderating this, and every one of you. You're making these come alive every month, and we're trying to do this every single month.
Month.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yes. Thank you.
January is
Thank
done.
you, guys.
Thank you. Bye
Okay.
bye.